Hey guys, good morning. Eagle Trading checking in 8:55 a.m. 35 minutes pre-market. 325.20. News came out. Big bailout goes through Congress. It's actually kind of scary when you think about it, in the context of the size of the and the scope of this bailout. And on one hand, we're saying this virus isn't, it's like the flu on steroids, but meanwhile, we're making the most unbelievable changes in what we do, and that I've ever seen, and I'm sure many generations have ever seen, and how we interact socially. And hear the president come out and say, hey, we have to restart businesses April 1st. That's our target. It's almost like a panic to reactivate things, which shows a desperation that if we don't, it's almost like this conundrum, like this, if we don't get things started again, we might even risk just going out and getting sick. And hey, what if some 1 or 2% of the population dies? So be it. It keeps the world from collapsing. I think they don't want to say that. It almost feels like we're at that point, which is a little scary when you think about it. And how that's going to affect the marketplace is unknown. So we use the technicals to kind of decide what's going on. SPY, I've been saying, I think we're trying to put in a bottom here. It's trying to absorb all this news as it comes in. I mean, even Prince Charles has COVID-19 now. So let's not get ahead of ourselves and get emotional and start shorting the market here. Let's let the market tell us kind of what it's thinking about all this. But it's crazy what's happening, when you think about these stimulus packages and the extent that we're going to, if this is just a regular flu on steroids. Two stocks that are kind of cool looking this morning. One is called HAPP, Happiness Biotech. This company has very little debt. They make money. It's a China-based biotech company. I know it scares a lot of people, but they're obviously right at the forefront of everything that's going on. They make money. I mean, it's HAPP. They just came out with some news this morning. This probably has a week and a half before this thing gets approved. It's like and everybody's racing to have these kits, and I know it's kind of a crowded space right now, but it's just on a standalone. This company seems all right. It's a recent IPO, so we don't have a lot of, price history, blue sky above. It looks like it was kind of holding a baseline, 350 to 5 and change. I could pull the chart up here, but I'm just kind of looking at UVXY. So let's just get into that. HAPP, that one's interesting. I think if you could buy that, like, around 4, high 3s, we'll see how this comes into news next week. I mean, just as a standalone, without that news, it looks like a kind of an interesting company. It just got hammered due to the market pullback. Gold obviously ran into some overhead resistance, so we're going to take a little break here probably. JNUG I like if GDXJ kind of pulls back, I guess closer to that, I don't know, 29, 28 area on GDXJ. That's the junior miners. Then we can start buying the leverage ETF again. I think we're going to take a little breather here. Norwegian Cruise Lines, man, I should have held some of these like UAL. I had some big positions, got out with profits, but they're rocketing on this news. I don't know how that industry is going to go either. So SPY support, 235, 228. If we pull back, overhead resistance, 249. Let's see how that goes. Do we want to short volatility here? I don't know. All these channels are changing now. We're not doing upward channels. We're not doing downward. We're kind of doing the sideways action. And it's kind of looking something probably where this pivot is, somewhere along where this pivot drops off in here. And then maybe the upside, which we lost our momentum in this little zone here. I don't know, you might get a little fall off window where if things got crazy. Everything just kind of leads here, man. I don't know. I'm not interested in going long volatility just yet, until we see some of these lower levels of the market break and see where volatility's at. Can't even tell you where there might be another channel along here, but if you're looking to buy it, God, that's a tough one. Going long, I'll have to pull the channels back. Support level is probably, remember these are short time frames that we're looking at here. Support level is probably somewhere around where this directional change was, 58. So 58 in this little range today maybe is where you're going to be looking at. We could probably stretch higher and get up to the 73, 74. That's about it on that. But I'm kind of focused on this HAPP thing today. I don't know if that can take off. The other one that I was looking at was CTSO, Charlie, Tom, Sam, Oscar for you gamblers. Maybe low sixes. That looks interesting. They have some news out on a drug that's used to fight off cytokines that get to the point where you start to have respiratory failure. So unfortunately, this might be some of the drugs we start looking into and get away from the viral cure drugs, which are already in the news, and everybody's fighting for that position. But those are the two that I'm kind of looking at. The rest is stuff that we already follow anyway. So let's just keep those parameters in mind on the SPY, and we'll see how today goes. We're still trying to put in the bottom here. A lot of news.